Hello and welcome to our IELTS reading course. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Chris Pell. You might know me, you might not know me, but I'm the founder of IELTS Advantage, and we've helped thousands of students over the years with their IELTS reading scores, and particularly helping students who need a 7 or above. So what we decided to do with this whole course that we're going to give you today is we decided just to put it all into a mini course, just the essentials, just the most important things, so that you can improve your reading scores in the fastest time possible. There are 3 lessons. Today's lesson is number 1, and without further ado, okay, what are we going to do today? Are the real reasons why you struggle and vocabulary. So it's really important that you understand what works and what doesn't work, because there's a huge amount of confusing and conflicting information out there, and if you're listening to the wrong people, doing the wrong things, or the wrong mindset, the wrong attitude, then you're going down the wrong path, and you're going to consistently fail over and over and over again. So it's really important that you understand those warning signs and understand why you might be failing or why you might fail in the future. We'll talk a lot about vocabulary in this lesson and talk about why it's so important, and give you a step-by-step vocabulary improvement plan that I actually share with my VIP students, and it has helped thousands of them get the scores they need and improve their vocabulary. This is going to improve not only your reading scores, but your speaking, your writing, your listening, absolutely everything. Lesson 2 is going to be about improving your reading skills, things like skimming, things like scanning, but also other skills that you might not be aware of, how to use them, strategies, all of these different things. And then lesson 3, we're going to look at using a strategic approach, having a step-by-step strategy for all of the different types of questions, how valuable that is, and we're going to demo that and show you exactly how to do that in these lessons. So there's 3 lessons, and I would definitely encourage you to watch all 3 of them in their entirety. All 3 of them are really, really important. So, why are you struggling? So, to answer the question, I'm going to show you this diagram. If you're watching this video, you're either struggling with the reading test or you're worried about the reading test. So, the number 1 reason why I say 90% of students are struggling with reading is not because of their reading skills, it's not because of their English ability, it's because of this. They're looking for tips. They're looking for, in other words, shortcuts or hacks or tricks to pass the reading test. And a lot of the stuff that you'll see online, a lot of the YouTube videos and Facebook videos and blog posts and things like that, they're all focused on giving you tips and shortcuts and hacks and tricks. Why is that? Because basically they're giving you what you want. Normally they're giving you that so that you'll join their school or you'll buy their course or something like that. But basically, they're being smart. They're giving you exactly what you want. So one of the reasons why we have helped more students and get the scores they need than any other course or school in the world is we don't tell you what you want to hear. We just tell you the facts. We just tell you the truth. We give you the things that actually work. So what you're ignoring are the things that actually matter, the things that will actually determine your score. And let's look at these. So the first one here, very, very important, is mindset. So in other words, how you think about the reading test and what your attitude is to preparation will determine your score more than anything else. This is the most important thing. What does that mean? Well, we'll be talking a lot about that throughout the course, but one very quick example of a good mindset versus a bad mindset. A good mindset, they know that, shortcuts and hacks and tricks don't work. Name one thing in another area of life, like can you hack your way to losing weight? Like, can you eat some pill and then magically lose 50 pounds? Can you, shortcut your way to become stronger, or shortcut your way to becoming smarter or more successful or make more money? No, you can't. All of these things just don't work. They sound good. They sound really tempting. Everybody wants to hear that get-rich-quick scheme that you hear over and over again, or everyone wants to look, fitter or slimmer or whatever by doing something really easy. But in reality, the people who are successful are the people who have the opposite mindset to that. The people who know that success or results only come from hard work and doing the work. Now, I'm not saying that you have to, work 12 hours a day for the next 10 years or anything like that. But you do have to do a lot more work than just looking at, top 10 tips to improve your reading. If you are looking for top 10 tips, stop this video and go somewhere else, because you're not going to get that. We're only going to give you the things that actually will improve your score. The second most important thing is vocabulary. We're going to talk a lot about this today. So when I say this in class, a lot of students will say, vocabulary, well, it's a reading test. It's not a vocabulary test. What I normally do then is just show them the reading text and the real questions. Say, do you understand all these words? How about the questions? Are the words here directly matching with the words in the text, or are they synonym? Vocabulary test as much as a reading test. So improving your vocabulary, you're not, unless your vocabulary is at that level. You're not going to get a Band-Aid until your vocabulary is at that level. And in today's lesson, we'll show you a vocabulary improvement plan that will get you there and help you with your vocabulary. The third most important thing, or things, are your reading skills. What a lot of people will talk about is skimming and scanning. You just have to skim and then you scan and then you find the correct answer. Well, if that were true, you wouldn't be watching this video. That is very simplistic. A lot of people don't understand what skimming is, what scanning is. They are not aware at all of the other reading skills they need to be aware of, and they don't know how to practice these skills. Same as playing cricket or playing basketball or playing football. Those are skills. You need to practice them. And there are good ways to practice them, and there are bad ways to practice them. So we'll be talking a lot about in lesson 2, I believe, lesson 2 or lesson 3, about all of these skills and how to perfect them. And in lesson 3, the last lesson, we are going to look at strategy. So what we try and do is take a strategic approach to absolutely everything we do, not only in our company, but when we're helping students prepare and a strategic way to do the test. I don't want to say that I want to turn you into a reading robot or anything like that, but that's kind of what we do with our students. We teach them strategies for all the different types of questions, so that on test day, they just look at the question and they know exactly what to do. How refreshing would that be for you if you could apply those strategies and just get the correct answers and do that on test day? And that's what we want to do. That's what we show you in the rest of this video in lesson 3. So these are the reasons why you're struggling. You're looking for these things and you're ignoring all of this, which is more important. And this course is going to teach you all about these. So without further ado, let's get into vocabulary. So, is vocabulary important? Well, here's 3 reasons why it is, because even though we've talked a little bit about why vocabulary is important, I need to talk about it again, because you will not do the work to improve your vocabulary until you believe how important it actually is. So let's have a look. So number 1, it helps you understand the text. So when you're reading, are you able to understand enough of those words? Now, you will never be able to understand 100% of every single word in the reading text and in the questions. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is to make it as easy as possible for you by allowing you to understand as much of that as you can. The more you're able to understand, the faster you'll be able to read, the faster you'll be able to understand it, the faster you'll be able to locate the correct answer, the faster you'll be able to decide the correct answer. And it's not just about speed, it's about efficiency, and it's about effectiveness. Which, if you have one person who has like a band 5 level of vocabulary and one who has a band 7 level of vocabulary, who is going to be able to decide and find the correct answer and understand the text better? The person with band 7 vocabulary. Number 2, helps you locate the location of the correct answer. A lot of the strategy that we'll be talking about in lesson 3 will be showing you that you don't just read and then magically find the correct answer. A lot of the strategies are about locating the location, the part of the text where the correct answer is, and then you can read it more closely and find the correct answer. This is a lot to do with synonyms. So the synonyms are 2 words that mean the same thing. So 2 different words that mean the same thing, like woman, female, right? 2 different words, but they mean the same thing. So often the question will be talking about 1 word, but the location of the area where it is in the text will be a synonym of that word. So it might be talking about men, and then in the text it might be talking about males. So if you were looking for men, you wouldn't find it. But if you're know all the synonyms of that word and you're aware of that, then it helps you find the location much quicker. Number 3, helps you decide the correct answer. So you're often going to get, for example, multiple choice questions where you'll have 3 answers and they all kind of look the same, and you have to decide the answer to the question will be determined by you understanding the difference in meaning between those words. Or in the text, there might be 2 areas or two parts of the text that are similar in meaning, and you need to understand what those words mean. So it's really, again, a vocabulary test that is going to help you get the score that you need. I can't emphasize this enough. That's why I'm repeating myself, but it is very, very important that you understand that. So, how not to improve your vocabulary? So, if you go to a lot of IELTS schools in inverted commas, or speak to a lot of IELTS teachers in inverted commas, there are some great IELTS schools. There are some great IELTS teachers. I'm not knocking them all, but there are lots of terrible ones too, pretending to know what they're doing when they don't really know what they're doing. So a lot of schools, a lot of teachers, their solution to the vocabulary problem is give you lots and lots of lists of vocabulary. This is another example of a shortcut. It's another example of a hack. They do not work. Let's look at why they do not work. So it's impossible to predict which words are going to come up on the reading test and which words are going to be important. The English language is just way too broad for you to be able to predict that. So you would literally have to read the dictionary, and I don't think anyone wants to do that. Number 2, it doesn't teach you the word 100%. So it doesn't teach you the synonyms of that, it doesn't teach you collocations, it doesn't teach you anything other than the word and a translation, or the word and the meaning. You should never have just a list of words with translations or meanings, because you're not going to be able to understand that word or use that word. Remember, you're going to have to do your reading or your writing test as well as your reading test. So wouldn't it be great to be able to use those words in a sentence? Also, the speaking test needs to be considered as well. Number 3, doesn't improve reading skills. So by using lists of vocabulary, you are not improving your reading skills at all. Wouldn't it be great if you could improve your vocabulary and your reading at the same time? That would be the perfect solution. That's the solution we're going to give you. So the best way to improve your vocabulary is to read. So this is not just my opinion, even though I've helped thousands of students with this method, and this is the method that has helped all of my students and proven over and over and over again. But there have been huge number of studies done on how to learn and retain vocabulary and use vocabulary, and all of them conclude the best way to improve your vocabulary is to read. Listening is pretty good too, but since we're, it's a reading course and we want to improve our reading skills at the same time, we're going to use reading, and reading is better than listening, to be honest. So, however, just reading is not the answer. All right, so if you think that all you have to do is just read a book every day and your vocabulary will magically improve, you're wrong. It's not going to improve. It might improve a little bit, but remember, this is a test situation. Your date is coming up. You want to get it done as quickly as possible, so we need to think a little bit more strategically. You need to be a little bit more strategic. So, what I'm going to show you now is my vocabulary improvement plan. Normally I only share this with my VIP students, but I'm going to share it with you today, and it has helped so many students to get the scores that they need, improve their vocabulary. And not only is this going to help you improve your vocabulary and improve your IELTS scores, but a wider vocabulary is going to help you improve your life in your new English-speaking country, because you're going to be able to engage people in conversation, understand what they say, and be able to communicate with people far more effectively. So I would recommend not only doing this, up until you get the score you need, but to continue to do this after, because it really does work, and it really doesn't take that much work. It's all about being consistent. So, part one. Number one, pick something you enjoy reading, all right? Do not pick boring IELTS books, all right? Don't pick the guide to vocabulary IELTS or whatever. It's going to be really, really boring. And don't just go into the library and pick the first English book that you see. You have the internet. There's loads of ways that you can access books now. You have a huge choice. Pick something you enjoy reading, because you are going to have to read regularly and consistently. This is not a method that you can do the day before your test or the week before your test. This is something that you should be doing every day, consistently, making it a habit. So if you're trying to make something a habit, you're trying to do something consistently, wouldn't it be a good idea to do something that you enjoy doing? So pick a topic or a book or a newspaper or whatever, anything. It could be on cricket or gardening or cooking or celebrity gossip. It doesn't matter. What matters is you do it regularly and consistently. So please don't ask me which book to read. That's up to you, whatever you want. Number three, while you're reading, underline new words and phrases. So you don't have to read for 8 hours a day. If you're doing this consistently, 10, 20, 30 minutes a day is more than enough. What you're aiming for is about 10 new words. Could be 8, could be 10, could be 12, could be 15, could be 20, but every day try and get at least about 10 new words. That's your aim. And what you're doing is, while you're reading it, you're going to underline the new words, or it could be an idiom, it could be, a phrasal verb, whatever. Number four, this is really, really important. Guess meaning from context. What does that mean? That means that when you underline your new word, do not immediately Google that new word. Do not immediately reach for the dictionary and look up the meaning. What you're going to do is you're going to guess what that word means from the context of the words around the paragraph, the title, whatever information you have. So I'm not making it perfectly difficult for you. It's a skill in itself. Number one, you're going to have to do this on test day, because there will be words that you don't understand on test day. I guarantee it, on the IELTS test. And then when you move to the UK or Canada or Australia or wherever you want to go, you're going to constantly see new words that you don't understand. Do you want to be talking to someone and looking at your phone, Googling words, or walking around with a dictionary? No. So guess the meaning from context. Then at the end, once you've finished reading, compare what you thought the meaning was with. It's going to help you remember it far more effectively than just looking up the word and translating it. Do not translate, right? Start operating in English. If you need a 7 or above, stop thinking and using your own language. That might sound crazy, but if you are saying that you want to be a high-level learner of English, but you want to keep using your own language and using your own language all the time, when you're studying and when you're learning English, use only English, and that's really going to help you. So the next part is you're going to record that vocabulary, and you can do it in a book like this. I carry this book everywhere with me, and I keep my notes in it, so anything I'm thinking about, I just put this in, my daily plan and all those things, but I could easily just record new vocabulary here. Doesn't have to be like an expensive book like this. It can be, you know, a $1, you know, school book that you have, or you could use your phone and you could record it. It doesn't matter what you put it in. What matters is you have a central place to record your new words, phrases, idioms, whatever they are, so that you can go back and review later. And you record in a special way. You do not write the word and the meaning, or the word and the translation. You can write the meaning, but you're going to write a lot of other stuff too. So just look at this for an example. So acquiesce, really nice word. Let's say I was reading and I was like, oh, what does that mean? I'm unsure about what that means. I would underline it, guess what it means, and then look it up. And then I'm going to record all this information that I need to remember it. So the pronunciation is going to help you remember it. The word form, the definition, synonyms, collocations, antonyms, example sentences, whatever helps you remember it. But make sure that you have all this information in your book or your app or whatever it is. Because what you're going to do then is you are going to review those words. So imagine you do this for 20 minutes a day for 2 weeks. Let's say you get 10 words a day. That means you're going to have 140 new words in your book. So your book is just going to fill up and fill up and fill up. But if you don't review them, it's kind of a waste of time. So what you're going to do is regularly review these. I'd say do it once a week. Once a week or twice a week, and you're going to review all of that new vocabulary. And how you're going to review it is you're going to do something with the vocabulary. All right, you're going to produce the vocabulary. And you can do this in a lot of ways. You could just, for example, you could try and tell a story and include that vocabulary, or you could write an essay, or you could write anything, a letter to someone, or you could play a game in some way. There's a lot of ways that you can review vocabulary, but the key is to produce the vocabulary, to produce full sentences with that in it. You could even record yourself. Sorry for the ambulance outside. But the key is to do this regularly and to produce something. And if you do that consistently, imagine you did that a year ago. Like imagine you watched this video a year ago and you were doing that for 365 days. And you imagine you learned 20 new words a day. That's a lot of words. How brilliant would your vocabulary be if that was the case? And how great would your reading skills be and your overall general level of English be? And you can start with just 5 minutes a day. But if you watch this video and you do nothing, nothing will change. So please don't be one of those students that watches a video like this and is like, oh, this is amazing, I'm going to do it, and then you don't do it. And then time creeps on, and then you fail your test over and over and over again. Because you have a choice. You can spend time on this, or you can spend time failing the test. You don't have a choice. You know, that's your choice. Spend time doing something that will lead to a great IELTS score, or spend time wasting time and then failing the test over and over and over again. So to talk about mindset a little bit, many of you will be like, why is he not giving us tips? And that vocabulary improvement plan, that's going to take ages. Okay, so that vocabulary improvement plan, if you are thinking that's going to take a really long time, your mindset is wrong. You're going to fail over and over and over again. But if you're like, oh, I only need to do that for like 10, 20, 30 minutes a day, I should get going now and I should make it a habit and schedule it every day, and in time I'll really improve, then you're going to get the score you need. There's no other way of doing it. So that's everything you need to know about how to improve your vocabulary and a little bit about mindset. So in lesson 2, what we're going to do is we're going to look at reading skills. So we're going to look at skimming, scanning, and close reading. Many of you might not have even heard of this one. And we're going to look at the real problem, the real reason why people don't develop their skills, why people don't use these skills effectively on test day, don't practice properly. We're going to look at all of that in lesson 2. So make sure you tune in for lesson 2, and I'll see you then. hopefully you find this lesson useful and get going with your vocabulary improvement plan. Thank you. Bye-bye.